comes and morning goes and each day passes by. Morning comes and morning goes and we've left home behind. Now we're flying, going to a higher place. Now we're flying, going to a better home, where there is no more pain, no more fear, no more tears, no more war. Where there is no more pain, no more fear, no more tears, no more war. Morning comes and morning goes, a new day has begun. Morning comes and morning goes, a new world we call home. Now we're flying, going to a higher place. Now we're flying, going to a better home, where there is no more pain, no more fear, no more.
How do these pictures of poverty-stricken refugee camps in Africa and Asia fit together with pictures of snowy towns and vibrant cities in North America, Europe, and Australia?
Morning comes and morning goes, a new day has begun. Morning comes and morning goes, a new world we call home.
If we consider the huge contrast in these scenes, it's fair to say that most refugees will need some preparation before they depart. Anyone moving to a country where culture, tradition, and practices are different from one's own can be expected to undergo an adjustment period of variable duration and difficulty. Refugees accepted for resettlement to third countries often come straight out of camps and have little, if any, knowledge of the societal and economic practices of an industrialized capitalistic country. Migrants, permanent or temporary, may be less vulnerable, considering the more regular and voluntary process they undergo in preparation for such a move. However, many of them as refugees may have unrealistic and even inaccurate expectations of life in the new country.
እዛው ሄጄ የምኖረው በካምፕ ውስጥ ነው ወይስ የት ነው አላወኩም ያ ነው የሚያስፈራኝ
እንድሰራ ይፈቀድልኛል
I'm worried about the weather.
These expectations will not only cause stress to the newcomers upon their arrival, but they can also cause pressure on the social service providers in the host community who work to help the newcomers adjust. The provision of pre-departure or cultural orientation, more commonly referred to as CO, reduces anxiety on the part of refugees and migrants by painting a more realistic picture of what awaits them.
Time is very, very important.
CO equips them with coping skills to deal with the unfamiliar and helps them shape attitudes towards life in their new society. In parallel, this orientation also provides an opportunity to establish links between the country of origin and the country of destination, as well as an opportunity for the receiving community to learn more about the culture and profile of these new members of their society. The International Organization for Migration, IOM, is the leading organization working with migrants and governments in providing humane responses to migration challenges. Established in 1951 to resettle displaced persons from Europe to countries accepting them, IOM has directly assisted over 12 million individuals to date. The organization has evolved over the years and currently operates in over 250 offices worldwide in almost 120 countries. IOM offers migrant processing and assistance, including pre-departure services, designed not only to make the migration process easier, but also to enhance the migrants' chances of succeeding in their new home. One of the many services offered is the pre-departure cultural orientation, or CO. Although CO approaches, methodology, and curriculum content vary according to categories of clients, as well as destination country realities and requirements, there are broad themes that are shared and applicable throughout. These themes may be summarized into CO objectives as follows. Provide participants with factual information about the country of destination. Assist them in developing skills needed to succeed in their new environment. Explore attitudes necessary for successful integration. CO empowers participants to adapt more rapidly and successfully to the day-to-day demands of their new environment. Currently, IOM has 6 cultural orientation programs, namely the Australian CO, the Canadian Orientation Abroad, the Finnish CO, the Norwegian CO, the UK CO, and finally the US CO. These programs serve over 54,000 participants in 35 countries worldwide, with a total program value of $5 million US. On average, 49 to 50% of the participants are women, and this number also includes a significant number of youth.
There are certain things that the Australian government wants us to get through to all refugees coming to Australia, all people going to Australia. They have provided us with the outline of a curriculum which they constantly update. For example, they recently contacted us and said, please make sure that you emphasise the importance of all refugees getting a licence when they come to Australia. They must not drive without a licence. One area that really gets everyone excited and they really want to talk about is education. Other areas such as health, the law, cultural adjustment, these are areas which people are very, very curious about and ask lots of questions about. This makes refugees feel a lot more relaxed. Perhaps the bottom line of all this is that they really want people to take advantage of the English classes. In IOM's experience and other people in this field, we have found that anyone who can speak English has a much better time of settling in a lot quicker and a lot easier.
Cultural orientation serves as a link between the country where refugees are coming from and the country they're going to. Often they're afraid and they're concerned. Most, if not all, have never been on a plane before. Some have never seen a flush toilet or had running water in their home. We try to minimize their anxiety by creating a relaxed, risk-free, and non-threatening atmosphere in the classroom. Having also gained their trust, this gives participants the freedom to ask questions and voice their concerns and opinions about the topics they're interested in. It's not all fun and games, though. After we get through the warm-up exercises, we get down to the serious work. There are countless things that refugees need to know about their new country. But knowledge is just one part of it. They also have to learn some skills: how to shake hands, how to use body language during a job interview, how to answer, "I'm sorry, I don't speak English very well." We also explore attitudes. For example, what does a husband do if he can't find a job, but his wife does? When a parent can't understand the note their child brings home from school, what kind of assistance is available to them? You can't always teach these things through lectures. You have to let people experience a situation and then have them work their way through it. Often group discussions and role plays are effective ways of bringing home these critical points. CO curricula take into account the facts regarding the country of destination, the settlement realities facing newcomers, and the cultural factors that may affect the settlement process. As such, they are living documents that are constantly being adapted and updated, taking into consideration the needs and abilities of each client group. Topics covered typically include general information about the country of destination, including geography and climate, community services available to newcomers, housing, education, health, legal systems, employment, money management, and topics relating to cultural adjustment and integration. CO sessions are learner-centered. The trainers directly involve the participants and ensure that they take ownership of the classes. The training methodology is hands-on, meaning that participants are not simply told about life in their new country, but are given the opportunity to experience it directly through role plays, case studies, problem-solving activities, games, debates, and other activities that require the full involvement of the participants. Classes are designed to ensure that whatever is presented is actually assimilated by the participants. Each program is custom designed to the needs of the participants. For example, Norway, as well as Finland, use bicultural trainers, people that are themselves newcomers to their countries and know firsthand what it's like to try to fit into a new country. This greatly increases their credibility among the newcomers as it capitalizes on their own resettlement experience. Sessions vary in length between 1 and 10 days, or between 8 to 50 contact hours. If refugees have to spend the day at the training site, IOM provides them snacks as well as a simple but nourishing lunch. If childcare is needed to allow mothers of young children to attend and fully participate, IOM will also arrange it. On certain occasions, for example when refugees have lived in camp conditions for prolonged periods, CO trainers may serve in the capacity of travel escorts and help ensure the trip goes as smoothly as possible. IOM has also developed cultural orientation sessions geared towards helping children and young people. These sessions help make sense during this critical time in their lives. We don't gloss over anything. We present the children with potential problems that they may face, and then we lead them in an exploration of what they can do to overcome these challenges. Many of the children we teach had never attended school before. They're not only learning about their new country, but they're also learning how school in their new country works. They're learning to come on time. They're gaining the confidence to voice their opinions. They're adapting good work habits. They love it. In Finland, as in Norway, we work closely with the municipalities that accept refugees and help them to settle in, because the learning is not only for the refugees, it's also for the community in the host country. IOM provides the link because we know both sides. For each group of refugees that we provide cultural orientation training for, we write up what's called a cultural profile, so that the receiving municipality can also learn about what to expect from the refugees. In Finland, as in Norway, IOM, in close cooperation with the resettling municipalities, sometimes provides post-arrival CO trainings for refugees that are unable to participate in orientation classes overseas.
Canadian Orientation Abroad, COA as we know it, is not only pre-departure orientation for refugees, but also for skilled immigrants and family class migrants. Skilled migrants, for example, are highly educated and sophisticated. They don't need to know how to find their seats on the plane. They may have access to the internet. Many of them, however, just like the refugees, may have unrealistic expectations. They may expect they'll be working in their own specialized field a few months after arrival, when we know that it may well take years before they can get their credentials assessed and upgraded. Knowing this ahead of time makes a huge difference in how they approach their first years in their new country. In fact, it could spell the difference between success and failure. A failed resettlement or a failed immigration is expensive, not only to the migrant, who may have spent the family's life savings in order to start a new life in a new country, but it's also expensive for the receiving country. The newcomer may end up on welfare or worse, give up and go home. Knowledge is the key for a successful beginning.
Language training is another service IOM has provided to migrants for decades. It prepares the participants to better adapt to an environment totally new to them. Having these communication skills, however basic, brings more confidence and facilitates their overall integration process. IOM is continually improving its services to meet the needs of special interest groups, such as the elderly, parents, children, youth, as well as the non or less literate. For the latter group, IOM focuses on survival literacy, sight words, and numeracy skills. For many refugees, learning how to hold a pen or pencil, writing one's name, and filling in forms are big achievements, especially for those who may never have had the occasion to sit in a classroom or learn how to read or write. In the future, IOM also hopes to expand its pre-departure or cultural orientation by offering its services to students, business travelers, and contract workers. By taking advantage of these services and IOM's global reach, migrants, host communities, and governments benefit. Migrants gain through reduced levels of anxiety and increased chances of a smoother integration. Host communities gain through a decreased need to support the newcomers and a corresponding increase in the level of respect shown towards new arrivals by community members. And finally, governments gain through decreased costs as newcomers become self-sufficient and productive members of the receiving society more quickly. It is the intention of the organization to promote safe and orderly movement of people throughout the world. IOM believes that orderly migration benefits both migrants and society. Through empowering migrants with knowledge and information, it is the hope that they themselves will become more successful members of their new society.
Morning comes, morning goes, and each day passes by. Morning comes, morning goes, and we flying, going to a better home where there is no more pain, no more fear, no more tears, no more war. Where there is no more pain, no more fear, no more tears, no more war. Morning comes and morning goes, a new day has begun. Morning comes and morning goes, a new world we call home. Now we're flying, going to a higher place. Now we're flying, going to a better home where there is no more pain, no more fear, no more tears, no more war. Where there is no more pain, no more fear, no more tears, no